And welcome to Tackle the Board. Week 8 is in the books. Thank you for listening and subscribing. My name is Chris Euksuzian. You can find me at Chris Ebom, and you can find us at Tackle the Board. And my co-host, no introduction needed, Russ Reese at Vegas Line Reader, going a smooth 4-0 last week, sweeping the board himself. Myself a measly 3-2, but still on the winning end of things. But overall, Russ with the hot hand. How you doing today, Russ?
Oh, I'm feeling real good. Another 4-0 week, and we told everyone, again, I feel like it's on repeat. We just keep saying, get these picks in. We're going to make money. I went 4-0 last week. You went 3-2. Again, another winning week for both of us. Going 4-0 is not easy every week, so I'm not going to be doing that every week, so don't expect that. But 27-15 on the season, 64% winning rate. You're 25-17, 59% winning rate. So we're definitely killing it. And combined, if you combine our records, 52-32 combined, 62%. So if you guys are putting these games in, you need to be following our picks. The 3 games that we actually agreed on were all your wins, basically. You just got screwed on a couple games. The Bills just played sloppy, and the Rams, they definitely didn't come out to play the other day. So you're going to hit some losses, but we win a lot more than we lose. So definitely confident again this week that we're going to dominate and make some more money for you guys. So I'll let you jump into the first game. You got the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings.
That's right. Detroit getting 4 points at Minnesota. This is a game that I like. Detroit is getting currently 4 points here. I really like this play a lot. The Lions games, fact about their games through 5 through 8. They're 11-2 away versus opponents all straight up against the spread wins. Minnesota coming off in a very emotional win. Both of these teams are pretty even when it comes down to it. Detroit's offense is ranked 18th. Minnesota's offense is ranked 16th. Detroit's defense is ranked 17th, and Minnesota's defense is ranked 16th. These teams are very evenly matched up. Could really go either way, and getting 4 points, honestly, is more than enough points at this point. Lions this year, they're 8-1 versus teams that are 33% this year win rate, and Minnesota falls right into that. Lions do tend to cover a lot more against these teams that haven't been doing well. And the Vikings this year, they're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games being a home fave. So they haven't really been that good of a home favorite this year. So this is a spot that I see Detroit can put up some points against the secondary. Their pass defense is ranked 18th. It's not really that great. It's a little bit worse than average, but I feel like Detroit can keep this game close. They can still win this game outright. So this seems like a no-brainer for me, +4 with the Lions.
Nice. And pay attention, guys, because this is another game that I agree with. Me and Chris agree on. I also like the Lions +4 here. We got the Vikings, who just came off the biggest win of the season, basically. And the Lions, they're coming off an embarrassing loss. We had the Colts last week. We knew that was going to happen, but Lions lost by 20 points in that game. They're going to want to come back and play tough in this game as it's a division game. Vikings are still a bad team. As you said, just don't trust them as a favorite. Vikings defense is 29th in the NFL in defensive yards a game, and they're also 29th in the NFL in turnover differential. They're at -6. This is also a double revenge game. The Lions lost both games last year, so I can definitely see them being motivated for this game and want to win this game as they are an underdog. This is a simple thing where I just look at where you see a team that's improved in the Lions from last year, and you see the Vikings who have gotten worse from last year. So you're getting an underdog points at +4 here in this situation. I'll take the better team that's improved. And by looking at the line before the season started, the spread was Vikings -7.5. The spread right now is at -4. You can see that the difference in the line will tell you how much better the Lions are and how much worse that the Vikings actually have gotten. So give me the Lions +4 in this game.
So about this game also I want to touch up on. I'm looking at the betting percentage right now by the public right now. It looks like it's about 70% being bet on Minnesota right now at the moment. I know it's early this week, but the line has not moved in their favor at all, getting 70% of the money. So I think that's something to consider when you're looking at this game and see how this line really moves. If this line really doesn't move at all, I think that's even more of a sign to hammer the Lions, especially. And if it goes down to like 3.5 and all this money is coming on to Minnesota, I always see that as a point of even taking them even more at that point, because why would the line go down when all this money's coming in? It's kind of like what happened with Miami and the Rams this week. It's a game I probably should have stayed off of, but I just felt like it was too good of a matchup for the Rams. They were 4-point favorites and they ended up dropping down to like 3.5, 3 points, and all the money was on the Rams. And then the Dolphins ended up winning outright. The defense played out of their mind. So that's always something to consider with line movements. That's always something that I've kept my eye on.
Yeah, nice. So we'll have you jump into the next game. You have the Broncos +4 at the Falcons.
Yeah, so once again, we're running into another team, the Atlanta Falcons, coming off a big emotional win. Anytime they win, it's an emotional win for the Falcons, and I was on the wrong end of this Thursday night game. Thursday night's been my absolute kryptonite, so I think the rest of the year, I think I'm just going to stay away from Thursday night. It hasn't been too great for me. The season's been good for me, but not Thursday night. If I canceled out Thursday night, I probably would have been like 75% at this point, it seems like.
Hey, you'll learn from your lesson.
I learned my lesson. I still thought Panthers were a better team there, but the Falcons came out good, and they pulled off the victory, a much-needed win for them to get them real excited on prime time Thursday night. Now they're going to be facing a Denver team at home, which I don't think they're going to be taking too seriously. About Vic Fangio, 6-0 off of division games against the spread. So he, once again, I've talked about this before, Vic Fangio is a pretty good coach. His talent isn't the best on offense besides Jerry Jeudy. Locke's been okay. Nothing amazing, but playing a division game and then coming off of that and moving on to the next game, he's been a very good coach and has showed against the spread this year. And the Broncos also this year, they're 11-2 away versus the 2,500 percentage win teams or less versus non-division opponents. So what's that saying is that when they go on the road and they're facing a really bad team on the road, they tend to cover 11 out of 13 times. So that's a big deal. That's something I'm going to take into consider. I'm looking at the offensive numbers here. We all know Denver's offense has been not good at all. They're ranked 30th. The 29th in pass, run has been 18th, so they've been okay. They've been a little bit worse than average. And then Atlanta is ranked 23rd in offense. Rush offense has been terrible, ranked 31st, and their pass offense is ranked 14th. Nothing has been really that great with them, even though Matt Ryan's been racking up a lot of yards this year passing the ball, but it's been mostly on garbage time for the most part. But I think the deciding factor to this game, the team that's getting 4 points, they're ranked 7th in defense in the NFL. 10th against the pass, 14th against the rush. I think they're going to shut down the run game completely. And they've shown the travel on the East Coast. They beat the Patriots outright. I see the Falcons are in that territory where the Patriots are this year. Just not a good team. And getting 4 points here is just way too many points for a team that could honestly win outright, especially after the chances of Atlanta winning 2 games in a row here. I just don't really see it that much. It's not a good team. The defense stinks. The corners are guys straight out of college that just aren't good, not proven, not worthy corners. And give me Denver +4.
Yeah, that's a good pickup. Broncos have been playing hard all year. I'm actually mad I didn't take them last week. They got embarrassed by the Chiefs the previous week and knew they would come out, and they beat the Chargers last week. So definitely mad I didn't take that, and also mad I didn't take the Bengals. I feel like I would have won a lot of games last week, but I laid off some of those games. But I'll get us rolling into the next game here. I like the Carolina Panthers +10.5 at the Chiefs. Here's a spot where it just seems like a letdown spot here for the Chiefs. They're coming off 2 blowout wins. They blew out the Broncos. They blew out the Jets just last week. I think Mahomes had like 5 passing touchdowns. They're just jumping around, having fun. Now that they see on their schedule another easy, winnable game, they're -10.5. I just don't see any motivation at all for these guys as they have a bye coming up next week. So with the bye coming up, that game right after the bye is actually the Raiders, who upset them early in the season. They're definitely going to have this game circled. So I definitely just see this could be like a 30-24 type of game. Just not playing any defense, probably giving Bridgewater some garbage points, or not even coming out to play in the beginning of the game. The Panthers, they have 10 days of rest as they played on a Thursday night to prepare for this game. And also a stat for you, Teddy Bridgewater. He's 16-2 in his career as a road underdog. So give me the Panthers plus 10.5 here.
I think that was a good point you brought up, the fact that they do have the bye coming up, and they're going to be facing the Raiders, a team they just lost to at home. Kind of a look-ahead game, if you will, in the NFL. They smashed the last two teams. Will they smash a third team by a lot of points? Possibly not. I'm kind of concerned with Carolina's pass defense at the end of the day with this. I hate betting against Mahomes, but I see your spot here. I respect it. Right now, currently, Casey's being bet up to 73% right now. It's at 10.5. Hasn't really moved yet, which is a good sign for you. But I believe it opened up.
Yeah, I would wait on that because it'll probably move to 11 or 11.5. I could see it sitting right there. If everyone's betting on the Chiefs, no one's going to be putting any money down on the Panthers this week after they've seen two. That's what happens. People get fooled and they see those two big blowouts. So the line's going to inflate probably just like how the Bucs inflated against the Giants the other day. And that's another spot where it was just a letdown spot for the Bucs, but I'll get into that later in our video about that game. But we'll jump into your next game. You got the Texans -7 at the Jaguars.
So Houston, they are officially at -7 at Jacksonville. Houston played them last time. It was their first, I believe it was their first win of the season. They came out, the coach O'Brien got fired, and that was a spot that I really liked them there. I couldn't pull the trigger just because of how bad they burned us before against the Steelers, who they should have actually won that game outright, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. But now they're facing a Jacksonville team that's either benching Minshew or he's hurt, or might just be said he's hurt. I don't know. It might just be a BS kind of thing. I absolutely love Texans here. The Jags have been absolutely atrocious. I can go through the list right now. Jags are 0-4 against the spread, following against a spread loss. 0-5 against the spread, last 5 games following a straight-up loss. Jags are 0-4 against the spread. Their last 4 is an underdog. They just can't cover a game, and now they're throwing in a kid from Oregon State, who I know, watching the Pac-12 constantly, being an Arizona Wildcat, Oregon State was terrible on offense, and I don't even know how this guy even got a job in the NFL, let alone he's going to be starting next week. It's absolutely crazy. The Texans are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games against Jacksonville. They've been owning them constantly. I don't think it's a Bill O'Brien thing. I think that's a Deshaun Watson thing. He just tears them up constantly. Texans are 4-1 in their last 5 meetings against them. And the road team in general in this matchup is 13-5-1 against the spread in their last 19 matchups against each other. I think it's very important to bring out that Jacksonville is the worst defense in the NFL. Absolute worst. They're the worst against the pass, and they're 23rd against the run. I mean, Deshaun Watson should be able to throw with all his weapons all day. I know Houston's run offense is worse in the league, but you know what? That doesn't even matter because they're going to be throwing the ball at will, and their rush defense is ranked 23rd, so it's not that good. So they should be always starting with David Johnson somewhere at that point. And I'm not too concerned about Houston's defense being ranked 28th because they're getting a guy in there that couldn't even do anything in the Pac-12, let alone going to be able to do something against NFL players. So give me the 7 now. If you can buy it down to 6.5, great. I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to be a double-digit victory anyway. So give me the Texans. I'm not worried again. They're going to sweep the series here, and we'll deal with the situation next year with double revenge.
Nice. Yeah, that was a game that actually just missed my board with the Texans, but I've been doing well saying that I'm going to avoid the Falcons and Texans for the rest of the year, and I've been doing well just avoiding them. I saw a stat about that quarterback. Whenever he was under pressure, he completed like 35% of his passes. Like, it was something terrible. So once he's going to see an NFL defense, it's not like the Pac-12 where all you see is passing, drop back, no pressure on you. This is an actual NFL game with not even the Texans are an average defense, so they'll be able to get pressure on them. So definitely a good pick there. I'm going to jump into my next game. New York Giants at the Washington football team -3, and I got Washington here. Here we have Washington. This is a great spot off of a bye. They're facing a Giants team who basically threw the kitchen sink at the Bucs last week. They did everything they could. They were throwing the Bucs off that whole game, mixing up plays with the offense. They did a good job with the offense. They scored 20-some points. I definitely didn't expect that against the Bucs, who they caught sleeping in that game. I could just see the Giants giving up here. They felt a 1-7 now after that loss. That's just a killer loss. They did everything they could in that game, and they still lost the game. Washington has a lot more to play for. If they win this game, they're I think it's a half a game back of the Eagles for the division. Washington's defense, they're ranked 4th in NFL in yards per game on defense. They're also 5th in sacks per game for the defense. Giants offense, they're ranked 31st in the NFL, averaging 291 yards a game. Giants beat Washington earlier in the season. It was 20-19. I actually talked about taking the Washington football team earlier in the season, but I actually jumped off of that game. But they dominated that game. In reality, Washington, the Giants only had 240 total yards in that game. They got lucky. They ended up scoring a lucky defensive touchdown on some fumble that put them up a touchdown. So I don't see the Giants getting lucky here. They're not going to be motivated for this game. Give me Washington -3.
Yeah, this is a spot where you're selling. Giants look pretty impressive against a very good Tampa Bay team.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fading a spot where the public could be jumping on 3 points with the Giants. I mean, you're looking at like the Monday morning quarterback and being, hey, they had a shot to win this game against Tampa Bay, who's probably one of the best teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And why not get 3.5 points against a Washington football team? I feel like this line's imploded. I think it should be more of a pick-em, and the fact that it's at -3, I think that says a lot. And in your favor anyway, the favorite in the last 5 matchups against these teams is 4-1 against the spread. So I think that looks pretty good for the favorite, and I think this is as high as a line as you can make this game. You can't make this like a 6-point line. It would make zero sense. I think it's high for a reason. I think you're going to be getting a lot of Giant money in there. Let me see what I'm looking at right now. Well, right now it's about 60% Giant money right now, 57.43. So, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you would think that they'd be getting some money because they had a chance to actually beat Tampa Bay on Thursday, on Monday night. So I think it's a good spot. I personally just would want to stay away from this game because there's just 2 bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I like your rationale with it, so I could definitely see where you're going with it.
That's cool. So we'll go into your last game. You got the Steelers -13.5 at the Cowboys.
Yeah, so Sunday night we watched our very own Philadelphia Eagles. That was a gut-wrenching game to say the least. Benducci, if you will, he put him out. They put him out wide receiver. They put him out in fullback. They put him out in every position besides quarterback. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
And now they put him on the bench.
They ran a lot of Wildcat with Zeke Elliott. And it was just reversals and everything else. And when you're going to be facing a team like the Steelers, who's pretty much the second best defense in the NFL after playing a Ravens team that is a great run team, they're still ranked second against the run. And now they're going to be facing a team that can't really move the ball at all. And if the Eagles, they're ranked 14th on defense this year, if they can hold them to 9 points, imagine what they're going to do with the second-ranked defense. I mean, you got to think that they can't score 10 points this game. I mean, I would be shocked because they put in like the kicker as a free safety or something at this point, just to like preserve people at this point. The main thing is that Dallas's offense is ranked 26th. But that was a mix with like Dak and then Dalton and Ben. So it's like the Benduzzi offense really stinks. It's not 26. It's probably honestly the worst in the NFL. They have all the weapons in the world. He missed a bunch of wide open guys. His legs work a little bit. He threw a ball that was kind of like a curveball slider thing over on the outside. It was just really ugly. The Eagles ended up winning this game by 14 points because they got a defensive touchdown they probably honestly shouldn't even got because I think he was down when he got that ball. Mm-hmm. But Either way, they won by 14. So if they won by 14 with that, I can't imagine Steelers not winning by this game by at least 14. Even if they put in a backup at the end of the game, I don't think there's any backdoor happening. This might be close to a shutout. This is just going to be a really ugly game. I don't care if it's in Dallas. I don't care if it's in China. I don't care where this is at. This could be in my backyard. It doesn't matter. I don't think Dallas is scoring much this game. And that 13.5, you better take it now because it's probably going to go up to like 16, 17. Honestly, this line probably should even started at 18. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they were thinking Dak might come back. Who knows? I have no idea. I mean, Andy Dalton, I guess maybe he might come back from concussion protocol, but he looked terrible too. The only guy I could throw to was
Andy Dalton's got COVID now, so I don't know if he's faking it or he just wants to get the hell out of there.
Well, I think it might be a little bit of everything. All right, so he has COVID now, so he's probably not even playing then. So you're gonna get Ben Duzzi over there.
I think or DiNucci, yeah. I think they said that they're benching DiNucci, so I don't even know who they got. I'm just not even. I got to look into this game later in the week. I have no clue what's going on with that quarterback situation right now. I've been getting news updates on DiNucci not playing now, so I have no clue who they're throwing out there. Someone's going to have to try out for the team and just play this week. So
you know what actually would be a smart move by the Cowboys? They should make a low-end trade for Fitzpatrick.
I know. I think losing that game killed them because what are they got to be like 2-3 games back now? Yeah. That was a big game against the Eagles, I guess. Yeah, I guess they put so much money into Dalton too. They just don't want to put more money in. I guess they seem like their season's over with. They're not going to go anywhere. You lose your quarterback like that, there's no sense of just. They probably want a great top 5 draft pick, which they will probably get the way they're looking this year. So kudos to them.
Yeah, kudos to them indeed. So 13.5 with the Steelers.
I would probably if you like the Steelers. Grab that now because you're not going to get a better line than that. It'll go to 14 before it ever drops. I can't see one person with a brain taking the Cowboys if they watched that game the other night. So.
No, absolutely. We're going to get into your last game over here. You got the Sunday night game, right?
Yep, that's right. I got the Saints at the Bucs. I got the Bucs minus 5.5. Here's a spot where, again, we talked about Monday Night Football. The Bucs in the first half, if you watch the defense, they just look so flat, like they weren't even coming out to play. The second half, you just saw them turn it on. They took it serious and ended up just winning the game close. The first matchup between these guys, the Bucs faced the Saints. I actually had the Bucs in that game. They lost, but again, they had new pieces. It was Brady's first game. Brady in that game, he threw 2 interceptions. One of them was returned for a touchdown. They actually got a field goal blocked before halftime that actually led to points. And then they had a muffed kickoff return later in the game. They kicked the squid ball, and the guy dropped it. The Saints recovered. So there's just 4 big mistakes. All 4 of those mistakes all led to points for the Saints in that game. If you look into the game, Drew Brees, he had 160 passing yards. Alvin Kamara was held to 16 yards rushing. The Bucs, they're going to come out to play defense in this game. They came out flat this past week against the Giants because they had this game circled. Expect the Bucs to play defense like you saw against the Packers the other couple of weeks ago where they dominated that game. So give me the Bucs here minus 5.5 all day.
Yeah, I like the spot for the Bucs. Everyone saw the fact that they barely beat the lowly Giants over here, and then the Saints were able to pull off an overtime victory against the Bears, which didn't even seem that impressive in the first place. Mm-hmm. And I think you're buying low on Tampa Bay, which is going to be hard to do this year. And I think 5.5 is a great play. I don't know how the Saints are going to be able to move the ball on them. I'm not sure about Michael Thomas coming back or anything. I haven't heard much about him. Mm-hmm. But I know Antonio Brown's playing, and I'll tell you right now, Antonio Brown's probably going to score a touchdown this game. Yeah. He'll probably get a one-on-one with Jenkins somehow, and Jenkins will probably get burned. I've seen him multiple times as an Eagles fan. So I can't imagine. He's going to have his good buddy Antonio Brown. He's going to be throwing into little corner end zones, little shots, and little turnaround catches and everything. It might be a bloodbath. I really like this 5.5 here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, Antonio Brown, I think, when he played with the Patriots last year, I think he scored a touchdown that first game.
Yeah, against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
first game
I
against
think,
he scored like 2 things.
yeah, I think a lot of their coaches actually have coached Antonio Brown before, so I think he's going to fit
Yeah,
right in
so about that anyway. So Antoine Randall is a coach there. The old assistant for the Steelers is also a coach there. And I believe there's one other guy that I can't think of off the top of my head that was with the Steelers also. I think he was a linebacker, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But these are all guys on the Tampa Bay coaching staff. And if Antoine Randall there, who is probably a good buddy of his anyway, it's gonna be a field day for him.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So we'll jump into done for our spread picks. We'll jump into your survivor. You're still alive, and I guess we got to talk about that Eagles game again. You were sweating that out, right?
No, not too much. I knew they were gonna win the game.
Yeah.
I don't think Benzuzzi was ever gonna beat the Eagles.
Ben done great. Yeah, when he drove down the field, you weren't expecting him to throw a bullet for a touchdown pass or anything. So.
No, that was never going to happen. It was a field goal city. If they were going to win that game, they needed Zerline to kick 20 field goals at this point. So it didn't really matter. I'm jumping on a game that I have, and I still have available the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no way they're going to lose this game. Even if they play bad, they're still going to win this game. I think Big Ben's going to be able to throw at will on them. The defense, if the Eagles can hold them to 9 points, I can't imagine what the Steelers are going to do to them. They're going to eat them alive, or whoever is out there.
No way they're losing that game outright. Yeah, that's just absurd.
So I like the Steelers there. I have them saved still, so I'll use them now because they're going to be playing Cleveland, Baltimore. They're going to be playing good teams. So I'll be more than, and Cincinnati covers all the time too. They could pull off a win out of nowhere. Yeah. So I'll be more than happy to use the Steelers in this spot. So, Russ, if there's anybody else that you feel like that's a good spot, what do you got for me?
I know this is such a tough week this week. So if there is a couple other teams I would look at, I would say the Texans seems like a good pick here to win outright. But I would just give fair warning to a lot of these games. Like I wouldn't trust the Cardinals at home. I saw a stat about Kyler Murray as a home favorite. Doesn't fare too well. Something like 1-4. I saw something like that as a stat. So a lot of these favorites, like you don't want to touch the Vikings. Obviously, we love the lines this week.
Yeah.
Plenty of just Titans, Bears. That has a feel of it could be a close game. There's just so many favorites this week that I wouldn't touch. Even the Seahawks game, you don't know 100% if they're going to come out to play for this game all the way out to Buffalo. So plenty of just favorites I would just avoid. If you guys are doing Survivor, I would just stick with Chris's Pittsburgh pick and just take your easy win for the week and move on to the next week. So.
But you know what? Honestly, am I crazy to think, could the Jets actually win this game on Monday night?
I was telling myself I'm almost going to take the Jets, and usually when I don't pick these games, they're probably going to cover, but I'm just avoiding the terrible teams. I'm not going to get involved with it, but I can see I looked at the Jets' schedule, and if you guys want to mess around that Monday night, I would just throw a little something on that money line because I saw the rest of their games. I don't really see them winning any other games, but this seems like a game that they could win. I mean, they play the Dolphins, but Dolphins are improved, and they're going to start winning games. Patriots, you got them at their worst right now, and they're a road favorite. They can't even put up any points. They got no wide receivers. I mean, they just played with the Bills last week, but the Bills play terrible football, so who knows what can happen with playing terrible football against the Jets. They could play right with them and just be a close game. So definitely avoid that if you guys are doing Survivor. Don't think, Patriots are playing the Jets, easy winner. That's the type of game.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
Not so fast, exactly.
But you know what's crazy, though, because how bad the Patriots are playing, they're a 7-point favorite. This would be normal if they were a good team. Yeah. So, I think this is a public perception of, the Jets suck.
The Jets, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I think Darnold could make a little noise on this team. They're not that good.
Yep, exactly. This happened last year when the Jets were terrible in the beginning of the season, and then Darnold came back. This is when the Cowboys were 3-0. They started the season, and then they were -7. The line was imploded, and the Jets beat them outright last year. But this is definitely a much worse Jets team than last year. So that's why I tread carefully with this game. So I would just sprinkle a little on the money line in that game. But if you're taking Survivor, I would not trust the Patriots. That's all.
No, definitely not. They could.
Right.
They're live dogs. There, Jets.
Oh yeah. But that should close out our show. So make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to get our names out there to more sports bettors to help everyone out with our picks so they can all make money too. You can follow our page on Twitter and Instagram at Tackle the Board. If you guys are curious which games I'm hitting hard this weekend in college football and NFL, you can follow me at Vegas Line Reader is my personal page. And I went 4-1 last week in college football. I plan on killing it again this weekend. And also follow Chris at his page at Chris Ebom. And I'll throw it over to Chris. He'll give you his handle for his golf. And he also gives out free picks as well for college football. So I'll throw it over to you, Chris.
All right, sounds good. So college football last week, I had a big card. I had 15 games last week. I went 9-5-1. Pretty good week. I started off real hot. I tailed off a little bit, but overall 9-5-1. I've been in the 62-63% range in college football. But more importantly, PGA Houston Open this week. Big tournament, big purse. You got some big names in this competition right before the Masters. I'm going to be on with Sean Brace on the Daily Ticket, Fox Sports The Gambler, Philadelphia. I'm going to be on tomorrow talking all things PGA Tour this week. And also the return of Maction, the Mac, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
We got a huge Mac card, my kind of conference. I love these mid-major conferences. I've cashed in a bunch of times with college football with these lower conferences. I got 2 games I really like. I'm going to talk more about it with Sean Brace. If you follow me at Chris Ebom, I've already posted them, but I'll go way more into detail on the radio live. And once again, at OTT Matchups, that's where I'm posting all my golf plays. If you don't know, you better know. You better follow it right now with everything else at Vegas Line Reader, at Tackle the Board, at Chris Ebom, and at OTT Matchups. I'm 75% on single play and parlay plays, over 1,500 winning profit units. I've been crushing it absolutely. I backed off the Bermuda this week. It was a lower end field. I stay away from those typically. Now we're getting into the more better competition where I have a better gauge of how these players play and how well they play the rounds before. So get my data for the first round on Thursday, and then I'll get my second, third, and fourth round matchups. So be prepared for it. And be sure to watch listen to Fox Sports The Gambler on the radio and everything else. So I'll be on there talking PGA and MAC football Wednesday.
Nice. And again, make sure you guys like and subscribe to our page here at Tackle the Board. All you got to do is put in a search. If you need to find us, Tackle the Board on YouTube. Again, 62% for the whole season, guys. Make sure you follow the picks. And I'm going to keep telling you again, we're going to win again this week. I'm very confident we're going to win on our picks. So make sure you get them in. That'll close out the show. So let's go make that money.
Bear down.
Oh, yeah.